I thought we had it all. 4 years together, married for 2, and a life that looked perfect from the outside. But lately, something's been off. I've noticed it, even if I try not to. "Hey, you're quiet today," I said the other night while we were watching TV. Colton barely looked at me. "I'm just tired," he muttered, his eyes glued to his phone. I wanted to believe him, I really did. But then there were those late nights. "Working late again?" I asked, trying to keep my voice casual. "Yeah, something came up," he said, brushing past me like I was nothing. I caught him once, phone pressed to his ear, whispering. "Who was that?" I asked, heart pounding. "Just a client," he replied, too quick. It was that quickness, the way his smile faltered, the way his eyes darted away, that planted doubt in my mind. "Colton, if something's wrong, you can tell me." I tried again, hoping for honesty. He sighed. "There's nothing, Sierra. Stop overthinking." I hated that phrase. Overthinking. Like I was crazy for sensing something was wrong. One afternoon, I found myself sitting alone at the kitchen table, scrolling through his texts on his unlocked phone. I didn't want to, but the gnawing feeling wouldn't let me rest. There it was, a message from M that made my chest tighten. "Can't wait to see you tonight." My hands shook as I read it again. I put the phone down, trying to breathe. Later that night, I confronted him, voice trembling. "Who's M? Why are you texting her like that?" He looked up, startled. "It's nothing, just a friend." "Just a friend doesn't say can't wait to see you, Colton." He avoided my eyes. I said it's nothing. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand the truth, but the words got stuck. Instead, I whispered, "Why won't you trust me enough to tell me?" He muttered, "Because you don't want to hear it." That hurt more than anything. I remember sitting on the couch afterward, staring at the ceiling, heart racing. Maybe I'm imagining things, I told myself over and over. But then came the receipt, crumpled in the pocket of his jacket he left on the chair. A fancy restaurant I didn't know about, dated last week. I held it in my hand, disbelief washing over me. How many nights had I been lied to? The next morning I asked him casually, "Dinner at that place? When was this?" He glanced away. "Work thing. You wouldn't care." "I do care," I said, forcing calm. He shrugged. "It's just food, Sierra. Nothing more." But it was more. It was everything. I wanted to believe him, to cling to the man I married. But every time I did, the weight of secrets pulled me under. "Why am I so scared to ask the questions?" I whispered to myself one night. The worst part, I still wanted to trust him. I wanted us to be okay. "Love's supposed to be enough," I told my reflection, eyes red and raw. But now I wasn't sure if love was enough to hold us together, or if it ever was. The cracks were there, and I was terrified they'd swallow everything whole. I couldn't. Stop thinking about that message, that stupid receipt. It played on repeat in my mind like a broken record. Why did I miss it? Every smile, every touch. Was it all a lie? When he came home that night, I waited. I had to say something. "Colton, can we talk?" My voice cracked before I even started. He sighed, tired, like he already knew where this was headed. "What is it now, Sierra?" I took a deep breath. I found the text, from M. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Care to explain?" He blinked fast, then laughed nervously. "It's nothing. You're reading too much into things." Too much into things. That's exactly what you said last time. My hands shook. "And the receipt from that restaurant. You said it was a work thing." His eyes dropped. "Look, it was just a one-time thing, okay? I didn't mean for you to find out like this." Just a one-time thing. Is that what you call cheating? My voice was louder than I wanted. He looked away, voice low. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did. You keep lying, Colton. Why? Why won't you just tell me the truth?" He ran a hand through his hair. Because if I tell you, it'll destroy everything. What's everything to you? Because it's destroying me. My throat tightened. I trusted you. He finally met my eyes. I'm sorry, Sierra. I'm really sorry. Sorry isn't enough. It never was. The room went quiet, the weight between us unbearable. Later, I called Jess. Jess, I don't know what to do. What happened? Her voice was calm, steady. I caught him texting another woman and a dinner receipt. He says it was nothing, but doesn't sound like nothing. I feel like I'm going crazy. I keep hoping it's just a mistake, a bad phase. But what if it's not? Have you talked to him? I did. He lied. Again. Jess paused. Sierra, you need to protect yourself. Don't let him convince you it's your fault. Sometimes I wonder if it is my fault. Maybe I'm too demanding. Too insecure. No, you're not. Cheating is his choice, not yours. You deserve honesty. Her words cut through the fog a little. That night, I stared at the ceiling, memories flooding back. Remember when you said, forever at the altar? I whispered to myself. Did he mean it? Or was it just empty words? I called my therapist the next morning. Doc, how do I stop feeling like this? Like I'm trapped between love and hate. You can't control his choices, but you can control how you respond, she said gently. I feel so stupid for trusting him. You're not stupid. You're human. Betrayal breaks the heart and mind. But what if I'm too weak to handle this? Strength isn't about never breaking. It's about finding yourself again after you do. I wiped tears away, trying to hold on to that. Later, when Colton walked in, I asked quietly, "Is there more I don't know?" He shook his head. "No, that's all. But I don't believe you." His face twisted. "Why can't you just trust me once? Because every time I do, you give me reasons not to." He sighed and left the room. I realized then how alone I felt. I wanted to scream, to cry, to rage. But all I could do was sit with the pain. The illusion of us had shattered, and I was left holding the broken pieces. I decided I couldn't just sit and wait anymore. I had to know, really know, if he was still the man I thought I married or someone I barely recognized. So, I started with small tests. One evening, I pretended to be busy with work and didn't answer his texts right away. Later, when he finally called, I said, "Why didn't you say anything earlier?" He sounded surprised. "I thought you were just focused. I didn't want to bother you." I kept my voice casual, but inside I was measuring every word, every hesitation. "You sure?" "Yeah." "Why?" "What's going on, Sierra?" "Nothing." The next day, I asked, "Hey, remember that dinner you had last week? With who exactly?" He shrugged. "Just some co-workers. But you never mentioned it. Didn't seem important." "Didn't seem important? To me it is." He sighed. "You're being paranoid." That word, paranoid, cut deep. Like I was crazy for wanting honesty. I started checking his phone when he left it unlocked. A text popped up. "Miss you. Can't wait to see you." I froze. Same message from before, but this time, no excuses. Later, when he came home, I asked quietly, "Who's that?" He said, "It's complicated. Please don't ask." "Why not?" "Because it'll just make things worse." "For who?" "For both of us." That answer wasn't enough. I watched him closely, how he moved, how he talked. One night, I dropped hints about a weekend getaway, something spontaneous. He said, "I need to check work first." I pressed, "You always make time for me." "What's different?" He shrugged, avoiding eye contact. I could see the guilt in his eyes. Another test. I mentioned a female co-worker, just casually. "Jessica. She's nice. Do you think she likes you?" He laughed nervously. "I don't know. Why do you ask?" "Just curious." He shifted uncomfortably. The more I tested, the more the cracks showed. I felt like I was sinking deeper into suspicion. One afternoon, I sat in the kitchen, scrolling through his social media. I noticed a message notification pop up on his screen. Quickly closed. Later I said, "Why do you hide your phone from me?" He avoided my gaze. "It's private," I pressed. Harder. "Are you hiding something?" "No." But the lie hung in the air. I wanted to scream, to demand the truth. Instead, I whispered, "Why can't we just be honest?" He looked tired. "Because honesty hurts sometimes." I swallowed back tears. Maybe it's better than lies. But I wasn't sure anymore. Was I holding on to someone who was already gone? I kept asking myself that question day after day. When I pulled away emotionally, he noticed. "Are you okay?" he asked one night. "I'm fine," I said. "No, you're not. Talk to me." "I don't know what to say." That's what scares me. I hated how vulnerable I felt, like I was losing control. But I couldn't stop. I wanted to believe there was still something real between us. Every test was a gamble. Some days he passed. Other days, I saw the distance growing. I didn't know if I was saving us or destroying myself. One morning, I confronted him again. "Tell me the truth. Is there someone else?" He hesitated, then shook his head. "No." But the look on his face said otherwise. I knew then the betrayal was deeper than. I feared, and I was running out of options. I never thought it would be Jessica. I knew the name from office chatter, but never her. The moment I heard it from his texts, my stomach dropped. I asked Colton flat out one morning, "Who's Jessica?" He shrugged, avoiding eye contact. "Just a co-worker. That's all." Then, "Why am I seeing her name everywhere on your phone? And why did you lie about the dinner last week?" He looked annoyed, like I was making a big deal out of nothing. "It was nothing serious. Stop blowing this up." Blowing it up? It was my life, my marriage, my heart on the line. I cornered her at work once, pretending to need help with a project. "So, you and Colton, friends?" I tried to keep my voice steady. She smiled, too friendly. "Yeah, work buddies, nothing more." But I caught the way she glanced at me, a flicker of something I couldn't place. Later, I overheard her on the phone, voice low and quick. "I don't want to hurt Sierra, but I can't stop seeing him." That was enough. My hands clenched into fists. I confronted Colton that night. "Is she the one?" He looked caught off guard, then defensive. "You don't understand. It's complicated." "Complicated? You're cheating on me." "That's not complicated. It's betrayal." He tried to twist it. "You're paranoid." "I never promised perfection." I laughed bitterly. I didn't want perfect. I wanted honesty. He shook his head. "You pushed too hard. That's why this happened." The nerve. Blaming me for his lies. I felt humiliated, like the whole world could see my failure. But I refused to break. "I'm done being your secret," I said coldly. He pleaded, "Please, Sierra, don't make this harder." Harder? You made it hard the moment you stopped loving me. The room was thick with anger and regret. Mostly mine. I wanted answers, but all I got were excuses and a new fire in my chest, rage I didn't know I had. "I can't sleep," I whispered into the dark. My mind wouldn't stop racing. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them, Colton and Jessica, laughing like I meant nothing. "Why can't you just let it go?" my sister Jenna said when I called her for the third time that week. "You're killing yourself over this." "I'm not killing myself," I snapped, voice sharper than I wanted. "I'm trying to survive." She sighed, but I heard the worry. "You're pushing everyone away." "Maybe I need to," I said bitterly. Even my friends started to avoid me. I could feel their pity, the way they whispered behind my back. I hated that more than the betrayal. One afternoon, my best friend called. "Sierra, come out tonight. You need a break." "I can't. I have work and other things to think about. Other things? Her voice was cautious. I didn't answer. At home, the silence was deafening. Colton barely spoke. When he did, it was to blame. You're driving me crazy with this obsession. Obsession? I'm obsessed with the truth. With us. He rolled his eyes. Us? We're done, Sierra. You're just too blind to see it. That's not true, I yelled, the rage bubbling over. You lied, cheated, and hid everything. And now you act like I'm the crazy one? His jaw tightened. You've changed. You're not the woman I married. Neither are you, I spat. You're selfish and weak. He laughed, but there was no humor. You want to tear us apart? Fine, go ahead. I stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door. I collapsed on the bed, tears burning my eyes. Why did it hurt so much? Was it the lies? The betrayal? Or the death of what we once were? Days blurred together. I barely ate. My hands trembled. Anxiety clawed at my chest like a beast refusing to be tamed. I caught myself staring at my phone, hoping for a message from him. Something to fix the chaos. But it never came. One night, I confronted him again. Why won't you just leave if you're done? He looked tired, defeated. Because I don't know what else to do. Then figure it out, I said, voice breaking. We sat in silence, two broken souls in a house full of ghosts. I hated what we'd become. I hated how much I still loved him, and I hated that I didn't know how to let go. I can't keep doing this, I told my therapist one afternoon, voice steady for the first time in weeks. She nodded. It's good to hear you say that. I've been holding on to him like a lifeline, I admitted. But I'm drowning. She smiled softly. That lifeline can turn into an anchor if you're not careful. I knew she was right. I had to let go, not just of him, but of the pain that kept me stuck. I called Jess that evening. I'm done being his doormat. Jess laughed. Finally, about time. I'm setting boundaries. No more calls at midnight. No more waiting for him to decide if I matter. That's powerful, Sierra. The next day, when Colton showed up unexpectedly, I stood my ground. I'm busy. Please don't expect me to drop everything for you. He frowned. I'm trying here. Trying what? To control me. To make me feel small. I just want us to work. I want me to. Work first, he sighed, frustrated. You're shutting me out. No, I'm opening myself up. To me. For once, I wasn't afraid to say no. I spent days rediscovering myself, reading, journaling, laughing with friends. When he called, I let it ring. When he texted, I waited. Before replying, he noticed the change. One night, he asked, "Why are you so distant?" I smiled. Because I'm learning to be enough for myself. He looked hurt, maybe scared. Are you going to fight for us? He whispered. I paused, then said, I'm fighting for me first. That shifted everything. He tried to guilt me, to manipulate, but I wasn't falling for it. I decided to keep the affair private. For now. Revealing it would hurt us both, and I wasn't ready for that battle. Instead, I focused on building my strength quietly. Every day, I felt a little more whole. The power wasn't in him anymore. It was in me, and that made all the difference. I can't stop thinking about what I should do, I confessed to Jess one night, voice shaky. Part of me wants to make him pay, publicly. Let everyone see what he did. Jess sighed. That's tempting. But is it what you really want? I don't know. My fingers trembled around my coffee cup. I want him to hurt the way I've hurt, but would that heal you? Or just keep the pain alive? I leaned back, eyes closed. Sometimes I think revenge is the only justice left. Maybe justice is about finding peace, not causing pain. Her words hit me harder than I expected. Later I sat alone, replaying every lie, every secret. Should I post those texts? Send that email to his boss? My heart screamed yes, but my mind hesitated. What good would that do? I whispered. Would it fix me, or just drag us both down? I thought about forgiveness, not for him, but for me. Can I forgive? Without forgetting? Without letting him off the hook? I didn't have the answer. Colton called that evening. Are you going to ruin me? He asked, desperation creeping into his voice. I took a deep breath. I'm deciding who I want to be. Not what you deserve. He was silent. I'm not your enemy, I said softly. I'm fighting for myself. I don't understand. Maybe you never will. That night I deleted the messages I'd saved. The evidence. I didn't want to forget. I wanted to let go. I realized I was stronger than my anger, stronger than my bitterness. Walking away wasn't defeat. It was reclaiming my dignity. I waited until he was home, sitting across from me, like nothing had changed. Colton, we need to talk. For real this time, he nodded, tense. All right. What is it? I took a breath. I know everything. The lies, the texts, Jessica. His face hardened. So, what now? Now, I'm done pretending this is fixable, he scoffed. You think you can just walk away? I'm not walking away because I'm weak. I'm walking away because I'm strong enough to choose myself. He leaned in, voice low. You think you're better than me? I think I deserve better than this. I pulled out my phone, showing him messages I hadn't deleted. You left a trail, Colton, and I'm done covering for you. He stared, anger flickering. You'll regret this. Maybe. Or maybe I'll finally be free. I stood, steady for the first time in months. Just then, the doorbell rang. Jessica. She stepped inside, eyes wide, voice trembling. Sierra, I never wanted to hurt you. I looked at her, heart pounding. Why? Because you thought he was worth it, she swallowed hard. I thought he was different. Different enough to ruin a marriage? I asked sharply. She looked away. I'm sorry. I shook my head. Sorry doesn't fix this. She nodded, tears spilling. I faced Colton again. This ends now, not with more lies, but with truth. He looked defeated, and for the first time, I felt peace. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was someone who fought, who chose herself, and that was my final victory. It's quiet now, I told Jess during our therapy session. Too quiet sometimes. She smiled. That means you're healing. Feels strange, like I'm waking up from a nightmare, I admitted. But I'm here. I'm really here. Some days I still think about Colton, but the pain isn't sharp anymore. It's more like a shadow, there, but not controlling me. I'm learning to love myself again, I said one evening on the phone with Jenna. To trust my own worth. Good, she said. You deserve that. I've started. Small, new routines, solo dinners, reading books I'd forgotten I loved. Sometimes I catch myself smiling without reason. It's weird, but it feels good. I even went on a date last week. Nervous as hell. Did you tell him your story? Jess asked. No, I laughed. Not yet. This time, I'm not defined by the past. Therapy helps. Talking about the pain, the betrayal, the rage. It doesn't make it go away, but it makes me stronger. I'm not a victim anymore. I'm a survivor. One morning, I found my wedding ring in a drawer. I held it, memories flooding back. I didn't throw it away. Not yet. I just put it down gently. Maybe someday, I'll let it go. But today, I'm just grateful I found myself again. And that's enough. I saw him again today, Colton. Across the coffee shop, like a ghost from a life I almost lived. He looked surprised to see me. Hey, Sierra, he said, awkward. I smiled softly, no bitterness. Hey, Colton. We didn't talk much. No accusations, no apologies. Just two people who once loved, now strangers. Later, I caught a glimpse of Jessica leaving too. I felt nothing. No rage, no jealousy. just peace. I pulled out my wedding ring from my pocket, held it between my fingers, warm from the sun. I slipped it off. Not because I hate what it meant, but because I'm ready to write my own story. Outside, the sun was rising, bright, new, and full of promise. I took a deep breath. This was my new dawn, and I was finally free.